I love it when you guys are actually at the stadium. I feel that the energy of the game and the atmosphere of the crowd, whether it's an awesome game or even if it's one when I feel you can sense the crowd slipping better. Like, for example, there was the game with Adelaide the other day, and I think they said the crowd's been quiet for 37 minutes of the action. Being able to relay that kind of comes through really well. But the things that you're talking about, as far as seeing the subs or the different aspects of the game that we can't see at home, the value I see in the announcers is the fact that you can help educate us or give us insight that we can't make for ourselves, whether it is a player that's getting injured or someone off screen who hobbled back and those sort of like intricacies, I guess, that we can't determine ourselves. I see that's the value. I see it's also handy when you guys are in studio for that exact reason, or, you know, if there's certain stats you want to talk about or doing multiple games, I get it. But I also think I'm all about the energy and the atmosphere. And I also love it when you bring up things like Zorba's playing now. They busted it out too early, or just some of that that we don't necessarily can pick up on, or, you know, the mascot's just done his ankle off camera. You know, funny little tidbits that might not have anything to do with the game, but add to the entertainment aspect, I suppose.
It's interesting being, you're thinking about it, even how I broadcast the game, somewhat subconsciously. I reckon I do a better job of sort of talking about broad issues in the league or maybe some of that stuff when I'm in studio because you are sort of removed from it a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in venue, you just get so wrapped up in what's happening around you. It can be hard
Yeah.
to sort of pull yourself to a level higher. So it's a really interesting kind of a
Yeah.
debate. Obviously, there's cost factors and that kind of thing that go into it, but I think it's trending in the right direction in terms of the amount of games that are being done in venue, and then having guys like Lockie Reed, having guys like Matt Russell as
Mhm.
part of our team. Obviously, Kelsey Brown and our courtside announcers are terrific. They're always in venue. Ariana's been a great addition in Queensland this season, so we've always got someone there. But I where you can be there, nothing beats it.
Yeah. And I think that's probably what you're saying there is sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees when you're just so encapsulated or distracted by John really in front of you doing something like that. But with to that point though, with the that actually explains to me probably a little bit as to why sometimes the announcers might talk over, like sometimes it cuts to for example, a ref coach interaction after a foul. Like I find them really engaging and interesting. But if you are in the arena, you might not hear that that's cut in. Whereas in the studio, it might be a little bit easier to have that patience by being able to hear your producer or whatnot.
And even sort of the mix of, background noise, how clearly can I hear this ref coach interaction? Can I, as a broadcaster, hear it clearly enough that I can relay what they're saying? Or some
Yeah.
of that stuff, not every, and then to be honest, not every ref and coach interaction is fit for broadcast. Sometimes you have to talk over it quite tactically. I
Yes.
won't name coaches, but
Yeah.
we may have already named one in the recent past.
Hey, I would pay, and I've discussed this with others, we would pay money to be able to, and this is nothing against the broadcasters, but to have the feed of the just the coach's mic or just the mic'd up player or just the refs, that kind of thing. Not that I'm trying to put you out of a job or anything like that, but but just even just sometimes to be able to, like the NBA, how you can flick streams. It'd be nice to have it just like they used to actually do that on the do you remember the old Fox Sports when John Casey, when it used to be the Wednesday nights, they'd wear the Hawaiian shirts. A big Wednesday they called it. But there used to be the red button on Fox Sports, not to promote other things, but when the NBA was on that, where you could pick which camera that you wanted to watch from, and you could pick which like courtside microphone or just the announcers or what have you. I think I like that repertoire of choice.
Yeah, it's interesting. I might have to pass that on to the powers that be.
But then again, I guess there's also a reason why they don't do that anymore. Things like advertising, making sure that they get their revenue, etc. I guess how you got started. We've gone quickly into the NBL, but I think what's some of your, I guess what's your favorite thing about being an announcer, and what inspired you to get into the industry in the first place, other than
Oh,
getting free courtside seats to every sporting event imaginable?
yeah, I mean, being able to talk about something you love and maybe have the benefit of being paid for it is
Mhm.
is it's pretty incredible, and it's something that you don't take for granted.
Yeah.
And any game, and this is it's a really something I try and remember, and probably should remember more than I should. Any game could have the best dunk you've ever seen.